Hey guys, Video Psych here. Now, of course, accidentally went back a bit, but I know, crappy thumbnail, kind of crappy, light in my face, but whatever. It's what you get sometimes. But anyway, enough about that. So, of course, as always, I get comments, and, I like to talk about them. And, it will also just, of course, relate to what I'm going to talk about as well, just a bit. But there's just many people out there that's they give up way too fucking easily. And this is, of course, just an example of somebody that I'm going to talk about here in the comments here, as I'll read out. And like usual, let's see. Now, of course, on my why do I hate incels video, lots of last video, of course, explaining that I actually don't hate incels, of course. And of course, one of them replies, take advantage. What? Incels get nothing, no love ever. Learn some empathy, have a heart. And I said, you guys really need to watch my video before you comment. I said in the video that I didn't hate incels. All you're doing is making you and your group look worse. I don't know why it just came out, it said group worse. I don't know why it came out like that, but anyway. Now you can choose to delete your comment to keep people from seeing it and listen to me, or you can keep your comment there and look like a fool. And of course, he comments back like I expected. You look like a fool for saying incels take advantage, while incels are, in fact, the ones who everybody is taking advantage of. It's like, yeah, whatever. If that is, do something about it. If that is so, do something about it. Like, instead of expecting everyone else to do it for you or just give you something that they can't just give you. Complaining on the internet to get good feedback from people that feel sorry for you isn't going to make you less of a victim. That's if you really are, that is. Besides, if everybody is taking advantage of you, then why do you need their sympathy? Now, hello, Daryl. I just think it's so ridiculous how, and I understand because, I mean, in some areas, because I was actually at one point, a bit mentally ill myself. I used to think that everybody was after me, and it's because of the way that I was just being bossed around at one point. I mean, I even remember when I was in that Christian school full of women, they used to just, during recess, they would just throw basketballs on my face all day, or not all day, but during recess. And they did it repeatedly. And they just did it almost every damn day. They would just, hit me in the face with a ball. And this was in my junior year. Not my senior year, but my junior year. Or no, wait. Actually, this was in 10th grade. But anyway, enough about that. And yes, they gave us recess. It was kind of a different Christian school, and they actually decided, it was okay to give us recess, But yeah, almost every day at one point they were just throwing basketballs in my face when I was 16 years old. And of course, if I tried telling the teachers or whoever about it, they just probably would, not really care. Or they would act like they were going to look into it and just end up with nothing, pretty much. That's just how some places are, It's just that sometimes people, they just don't really fucking care, you know, as much as they say that to do, and it can be really pathetic. And, but, when you're older, when you're 18 years old and all that, you have, a responsibility put on your shoulders when you turn that age. And a lot of the restrictions restricting you from doing things or just, getting out of situations like that, come off of your shoulders. And then new responsibilities get put onto your shoulders and the shackles come off. Now, when you turn 18, you could practically run away from your parents legally. and they won't have the right to look for you for too long when you're, an adult. Legally speaking, they can't look for you for too long without having any evidence that you have been kidnapped or not, etc. And this is kind of one of those situations because I'm not sure how old this kid is, but I do understand how it feels to feel like everybody's after you or everybody's just bossing you around, and at least in a sense, although this kid's kind of taking it to a literal sense, like everybody that isn't an incel is just bossing him around. And I just find that hard to believe. And, in this case, I don't just think that this kid is mentally ill. I think he's a little bit of something else. I forget what they call it. But even when times I've actually tried giving them advice, they've tried turning it around like I'm just making them into a victim or I'm just bullying them. And I remember this one time also, just kind of going off here. Like a person that my brother actually used to date, she always actually used to act just like this. And I even remember one day I was just asking her questions one day. And she kept on, reverting back to, oh, you're like pushing me around and blah, blah. And I just kept on ignoring what she said. And I just kept on asking her questions instead of giving into the whole, oh, I'm a victim thing, which I knew was completely full of crap. She would talk about it every damn day, every time I would fucking see her. And it's just like, you would think that at some point people would, thank you and like, talk about how much better things have gone since they've been hanging out with you or with my brother in this case. But no, she just kept on bitching about what would happen at school and how much of a victim she was, and how apparently me asking her questions is me bullying her, etc. And that's just the kind of thing that I'm seeing with this kid here. That even if I'm legit just trying to tell him something, it's just his mind just reverts back to, oh, I'm just a victim. You know what I mean? This is a little more psychotic than I would say, than, being just mentally ill or, not being very bright, to say the least. But as far as just not giving up, what he is doing is that, some people, I just think it's so funny how they're just like, oh, I just can't get laid, or, oh, I just can't find love. And part of that reason is because you guys are seriously just giving up way too fucking easily. I mean, I hate to say it, but you're just giving up way too fucking easily for something that doesn't just happen and that somebody can't just give you. I mean, just like how I can't just give some stranger that I just met like a lot of money, especially over the internet, etc. There are so many scammers out there. They will just ask you for thousands of dollars for whatever the fuck it is. They'll even ask for thousands of dollars just so that they can fly to you or something. Well, then suddenly there's like $2,000 out of your, bank accounts, and then next thing you know, they want to ask more. Then so you give more, and then etc. And then you're like almost out of money, and then they just move on to somebody else because they've drained your bank account. They've screwed you over, basically. Now that's what I call not in investments. But you see, when it comes to finding love, finding a relationship, getting laid, just stuff like that. If you just give up and then just, start complaining on the internet for good feedback and then stop doing things about it, I mean, well, now you're never going to fucking get laid. Now you're never going to find, a relationship, love, etc. I mean, if you especially aren't pursuing it, then yeah, you aren't gonna fucking find it. I mean, that's just all there is fucking to it. I hate to say it, but that's just, I don't know what you're thinking if love is just gonna come around a corner and just find you, because that's just not how it works usually. I mean, you have to interact with people. You have to go on the internet. You have to go out. You have to invest in things. And, as far as marriage goes, that's what's supposed to be an investment. And your money becomes both of your money, with your soulmates. And depending on soulmates, if you don't do a very good job at finding a soulmates, they might screw you over. And sometimes this happens to the best of us, but this is something, something that doesn't just work out. It could take a long time to find somebody that you can trust. And just like I told my stepbrother Jordan one time, because he was talking about people that he couldn't, there's so many people he was finding in Florida that he couldn't trust. And I just told him straight up, like maybe 1 out of 50 people that you meet, you can probably trust long term, possibly. But yeah, for the most parts, I mean, there's lots of people that you're going to meet. They'll make a first, good impression. They'll be nice to you at first, but then you start living with them, and then suddenly you start knowing all of their kinks, all their crazy kinks, and all of their crazy lifestyles and issues. Next thing you know, you're the person that's always cleaning the dishes. Next thing you know, they won't clean anything. Next thing you know, you're starting to pay the rent. You're by yourself. And then next thing you know, you're in courts, etc. I mean, it just happens all of the fucking time. It happens to so many people. It's not even funny. I'm surprised it actually hasn't happened more to me, to be frank, but maybe I'm just a good judge of character. I don't know. Maybe it's just luck. But for the most part, yeah, there's just so many people out there you can't really trust. But, just giving up like this and then going on the internet and just acting like a victim is just not going to fucking work out for you. I'm sorry, but it's just not going to fucking work out for you. Especially if you're the kind of person that actually isn't a victim. And, eventually you're going to have to get out of being a victim just like I did. And, here's some things. One thing that you can do as far as people that are bullying you is that one thing you could do is just cut them out of your life. And now this tends to be the simplest option. However, and this is what I did, of course, is that for the most part, I just cut people out of my life that are just jerks. But then there's also the thing that you can't just get them out of your life. And what you're going to have to do is that you really are just going to have to start defending yourself. And you're going to have to figure out strategies of dealing with psychos. And this is also what I've had to do is I had to learn how to deal with psychos and people that were antisocial. Yes, I've actually had to learn how to deal with people like that. They really are shitty. Like psychos are people lots of times. You don't have to be a serial killer to be a psycho, by the way. Like a psycho can be easily somebody that just sees you as somebody who's like a playground. For instance, like they might just see your feelings as a playground to screw around with. And somebody that's antisocial can easily be somebody that just did something to you and thought it was funny. You know what I mean? So those are at least a couple categories that you might want to learn how to deal with. And then there's also people that, where do I start? Maybe I should just stop right there. But those are at least a couple of things that you can do. It's just, cut those people out of your life if you can. And, you've really got to just start sticking up for yourself and start telling these people to fuck off. And now you might see these people get angry at you. And then it's just like, well, good that you're fucking angry, because you know what? If you come by me like tomorrow and try to fuck with me again, you're going to be like done. You aren't going to be around here anymore. That's what you're going to have to tell these people. You're going to have to get a gun. You're going to have to get a knife. you're going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to call the police, probably. You're going to have to do something about it if these people seriously are not just letting you alone. You are going to have to do something about it. And, going on the internet and looking for sympathy from others is just not going to work out. It's not going to cut it. You're going to keep on going out into reality, and you're going to get defeated every fucking time you go out to reality. If you give up like that on reality. And I always just think it's so weird how so many people just think that's, it's like love is like what you see in the movies or something. And it's just nothing like that. There's more to love and relationships than, hugs and kisses and caring and, making love, basically, like every damn day. That's just not how relationships are in real life. I'm sorry, but that's just not how relationships are in real life. In real life, relationships can have a lot of hardship. There could be a lot of pain, as well as, fun and love, etc. And maybe some sex. Definitely not as much sex as the movies, though. I mean, I wish that we could handle that much sex, but I mean, we just can't. But, with that being said, I've actually been trying to talk to this kid for like the past frickin' year, and he just still acts like I am just trying to boss the incel group around or make them look bad. No offense, but making the incel group look bad has already been done. It's all over the frickin' internets. They definitely don't need my help to make you guys look bad. If anything, I'm one of probably the select few guys actually trying to talk to you guys and show you some reality. And with that being said, I'll end this video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.